Hey YouTube, so I've been wanting to make this video for a while, but just now got around to it. So this video is on my 2021 Ford Ranger XLT. Basically what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and ultimately why I'm choosing to let it go tomorrow. I'm coming from a 2015 Ford Focus, and I figured I'd stay in the Ford family, and been wanting a truck for a while, and I figured a mid-size would do me well. The specs on this are great. I was impressed by the payload capacity, the towing capacity. That's one of the things that led me towards a Ranger. I was considering Tacomas, but their driving position was horrible. Tacomas were tempting because they're a manual. You can get a manual. I just couldn't deal with the driving position. This was my next best thing. With the specs, towing, towing of 7,500 pounds. Payload on this particular model, I think it's close to 1,500. Definitely impressive. The 2.3 liter 4-cylinder EcoBoost. What's that? 270 horsepower, 310 pound-feet of torque. I really do actually enjoy. I've never once found myself wishing for more power, and I've taken a recommendation off some members on Ranger5G.com to run 93 in here. Yeah, it's a little bit more money, but the engine seems to be happier on that higher octane. It's not necessary. It can run 87. Is it putting out more power? Who knows? One thing I wasn't totally sure about was a mechanical fan, if I would like that or not, but I actually do like that. When I'm pulling out in the morning, it sounds like a truck. Everything is easily accessible. Yeah, 2.3 liter, love it. One thing I do like about the Ranger, at least with the XLT and up, I'm not sure about the lower trims, you do get LED taillights, full LED taillights, brake, turn signal, and reverse. Ford, they are giving you the safety suite with the not so high-end models. I know my XLT came with the blind spot monitoring, which has come in handy a few times. The rear cross traffic alert is definitely nice. Overall, it's been a decent truck, but there's certain things that I feel have been a shortcoming for a 2021 model year truck. So number one, the reflector headlights. I did replace the bulbs with LEDs. That it's just a shortcoming in my eyes for almost a $40,000 truck. They stick you with reflector headlights. I do love the color. It is the cactus gray, which is one of the main reasons why I picked this particular truck. It's the XLT Sport. And of course, when you get Super Crew, you're stuck with a 5-foot bed, which is another reason why I think I'm going to let it go. served me all right, but I definitely, my original truck consideration was a 2021 Ram Bighorn. So this was a definite downsizing from that truck. I figured I'd get a mid-size and see if that would suit me, but I do wish I would have gotten something a little bit larger. Another one of my complaints, I guess you would call it, number one, obviously, no soft close or soft open. And another thing I've had issues with this truck for ever since the day that I bought it is if I try to close the tailgate softly, it doesn't latch. I don't know if it's normal. I gotta give it a decent thunk for it to actually latch. One thing I'm not crazy about also is on the XLT models and of course the lower end models, you get no tailpipe treatment at all. It's just raw steel. For a $40,000 truck, I feel that's kind of, I don't know, it'd be nice to see some sort of treatment on that tailpipe, but another shortcoming are the mirrors. On this XLT Sport, MSRP was $38,700. They're not heated, which came as a bit of a surprise to me. I actually didn't really think to check for that when I was buying it. I had assumed an XLT would come with heated mirrors, but I found out about that. I bought this back in March of 2021. I found out the first snow, having this truck, that they are indeed not heated. Another thing I'm not crazy about is this keypad. It's just kind of, and I know it's like this even on the new Broncos too. I seen on other Ford products they integrate that keypad in with the B-pillar, and on this Ranger it's just sort of tacked on there. I'm not crazy about that. One of my biggest gripes about this, not sure if it'll come across on video, but these doors are some of the cheapest sounding doors I've heard recently. Like I said, I'm coming from a 2015 Focus, and the doors on that were solid. These doors must have weighed 50 pounds a piece on that Focus, but on here, when you close them, it just does not impress me. Some of these things may be superficial, but just over the course of owning this for 3 months, this is what has come up. As far as the interior goes, apparently on the XLTs before the 2021 model year, from what I understand, you had the option of power folding mirrors. Apparently with the 2021 model year they discontinued this, or maybe you have to get a lariat, or I don't know, but it's just kind of, it's always in your line of sight that you didn't get the power folding mirrors. It would have been nice if you didn't, if they would have had a separate panel design where you don't have this blank just hanging out reminding you every time you look at it, oh wait, I don't have power folding mirrors. Another thing I'm not crazy about is the steering wheel design. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's the spokes on the side. I think they're just, I don't know. To me, they're just not comfortable. I don't know what it is about it. I think a combination of these And this little opening down here is just sort of useless. I've been in other F-150s and other Ford products where this opening, you know, you can ride around and have your hand just kind of hanging out down there. With this, it's just useless. Other than that, you know, I like the stitching, the leather. It's nice, but the side spokes just feel like, I don't know, maybe they're too big maybe my hands aren't big enough for it, but it just doesn't feel comfortable. And also, you can feel there's rough edges around this silver trim. It's not amazing. And I get it. It's a truck. That's what I've been telling myself for the past 3 months. Another shortcoming, which I believe were in the earlier models, but they discontinued for 2021. These letters on the shifter do not light up. It's a small detail. It might be a silly detail, but it seems like Ford went through some cost-cutting measures from 19 and 20, and then they kind of implemented them in 2021. So it just feels like you got kind of something that's not as featured as the earlier models. I don't know, but you know, might be a silly gripe on my part, but it would be nice to see these actually lit up. Now, of course, they do light up on the screen. You know, obviously I see them up there, but it's just kind of, would have been nice to see these lit up. What else? Just overall, there's random fit and finish issues. You know, it's a truck. I get it, but this has always bothered me. It's just like some rough edges between the gaps in the plastic. Just, I feel Ford, especially seeing the new Maverick and personally being in a 2021 F-150. You know, I know Ford can do better, but it just feels like they cut some costs where they could on the Ranger. Another gripe for almost $40,000 vehicle: no lights in the vanity mirror. And again, I get it, it's a truck, but coming from a $20,000 Focus, it had a lighted vanity mirror. One of my biggest gripes is the position of the window switches. This has been one of my biggest pet peeves with this thing ever since I bought it, and I started using it every day. Position of the window switches are not convenient to the position of your hand. Again, maybe it's another silly gripe, but it gets annoying every time you're driving and you want to put your windows down. Oh wait, I have to lift my arm, reposition it, and then put the switches. So speaking of interior finish quality, this gap here in the plastic, you feel it every time you open up the door. It's just I wish Ford would have spent a little bit more time and money on those touch surfaces. Like this handle, if I put pressure on it and squeeze it, you can literally feel it squeezing together. Also, the rubber trim on the B-pillar on the driver's door is constantly this, even though it's a mid-size, good luck going through an ATM, because that door just gets you. I'm 5'10". I think I'm average height. But for me to reach a standard ATM height, I'm like straining constantly. As far as the back seats go, I've never sat back here. Actually, I don't think I've ever had a passenger even ride in the back seats the time that I've owned it. So I can't really comment on its comfort. One thing I will say that I do like is actually, this being the XLT, you do have a rear power outlet. It's only 150 watts. A lot of the other ones that I've seen have 400 watts. So it's nice that Ford provided us that. And 2 USB charging ports. Just nice. You know, a little storage cubby. Again, would have been nice to see some sort of air vents or something back here, but underneath the seat we have a little bit of storage, enough for some ratchet straps, and not a ton of storage, but it'll do. One more gripe: no grab handle on the driver's side. Would have been nice. So now my reasoning, why am I getting rid of it? Other than the interior quality, you know. Maybe I could just get over it and deal with it. It's a truck after all. I do love the color. I like the way it sits. I mean, a level kit would definitely do wonders for it in the front, and some bigger all-terrain tires, which I was almost ready to pull the trigger on. So why am I getting rid of it? Well, number one, the ride. This is the bounciest vehicle I've ridden in, and as long as I can remember. I've heard it, you know, if you change the shocks around, upgrade the shocks to Bilsteins, that's supposed to sort it out, you know, calm the rear end down. And also the 10-speed transmission. I'm coming from manual transmissions. I've been driving stick since '05 for the past 16 years. I don't like the 10-speed. It's just that simple. The truck doesn't seem to know where its happy medium is. Sometimes it's lugging, and sometimes it's overshifting. I've had a few rough shifts. I'm just not very impressed with Ford's 10-speed. Also, this truck only has 4,000 miles on it. The brakes have been squeaking. I don't know why. I don't do any aggressive driving in this. You know, I haven't even off-roaded it. I haven't, other than driving it to and from work. Just casual back road driving. Nothing crazy. And the brakes are squeaking. And also in the front end, I'm getting a loose feeling. It sounds like there's either a bad ball joint or tie rod end at 4,000 miles. I haven't taken it to Ford to ask about it, but that's what it feels like to me. And we know how the dealerships work. You get in there and they charge you diagnostic fees and labor, and at the end of the day they say nothing's wrong with it anyhow. And my final reason is trade-in values, luckily, on the new generation Rangers are insane. As I said, MSRP on this was $38,755. I took it to a local Ford dealer. They offered me $38,000 to sell this back to them. Bought this back in March. The whole car crisis and everything, it wasn't as bad as what it is currently now, and this is June 25th, 2021. Wasn't as bad as it is now. I didn't pay, I paid about $35 for this. So between the payments I've made, down payment I put down, I'm actually walking out of the dealership with a decent chunk of change. So it's rare buying a new vehicle to have that chance to sort of redo your decision. And I have that chance, so I think I'm going to do it. Like I said, finish, I could get over. But I think my decision to get rid of it just comes from the driving dynamics of it. It's too bouncy. The transmission doesn't know where it wants to be. One thing that's really annoying is like edging up to stop signs and four-way stops with this. It just feels like you're in the middle of the Atlantic. You're just bouncing all over the place. So yeah, luckily with the Auto Crunch, I do have a second vehicle. Hopefully things will calm back down by fall. And try to make a decision then. Alright, hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe. Definitely appreciate it. Bye.